day, only 23 days left before the midterm election and just 6 more days before the early voting in Nevada. And remember, you can still register to vote up to the election day. I'm Esmeralda Padilla-Gould and welcome to The Pulse.
And I'm Sam Buban. We begin with this week's top stories dominating the headlines.
The Hive newsletter of the Vanity Fair magazine reported on October 11th that the next hearing and the final hearing of the January 6 committee investigating the insurrection of January 6, 2021 will have Roger Stone as a central topic. A longtime Republican fixer and ally of Donald Trump, Roger Stone allegedly promoted violent insurrection after the 2020 election and sought pardons for himself and others when the desperate attempts to overturn the election failed. Stone, who is already under intense scrutiny for appearing with the far-right militia Oath Keepers on the day of the January 6 attack and was captured on video by Danish filmmakers advocating violence to Oath Keepers and to declare Trump the winner regardless of the result. This particular works of the Danish documentary filmmakers has been subpoenaed by the J6 committee, for which they have complied.
The Russian missile attack in several Ukrainian cities has generated reactions from the U.S. and NATO allies to provide more air defense system to Ukraine. The missile attack by the Russians happened after weeks of continued liberation by Ukrainian forces of Russian-occupied Ukrainian territories near the Donbas region. More defeat awaits the Russian invaders after the Kerch Bridge in Crimea was blown up. The bridge that is main logistical route from Russia and Crimea, which was annexed by Russia in 2014, has been blown with explosives, making Russia lose their main supply line to Crimea and other occupied area in the Donbas region. The bridge that connects mainland Russia to Crimea over the Strait of Kerch, a main commercial vessel outlet from the Sea of Azov to the Black Sea and to the world shipping lanes. No one has yet claimed responsibility for the explosion that was followed by Russia's missile response attack in less than 5 days.
We will have more of The Pulse after the break, so please stick with us. Welcome back to The Pulse. What's happening in many places in the final stretch of the midterm election, Uncle Sam?
Let's first look at the Nevada race for governor between incumbent Governor Sisolak and challenger Republican Joe Lombardo. In recent polls from CNN from September 26 to October 2nd shows Governor Sisolak trailing by only 2 points behind Joe Lombardo. The survey was taken just 5 weeks before the election and is not looking good for Governor Sisolak. But, with the 5 surveys that were taken over a month period, Real Clear Politics, the online magazine, averages them that Joe Lombardo is only 1.6%, a plus 1.6 points on top of Steve Sisolak. It should be a challenge to Democratic voters and nonpartisan voters who are going for Sisolak to turn out at the voting precincts and vote. Here's why these things can go either way for Lombardo or Steve Sisolak. Let's look at some numbers from the data obtained from the Secretary of State, who is the state authority in the conduct of elections. The big fish here is Clark County. That's where the highest or the biggest number of voters that are active. According to the Secretary of State, Clark County has 1,286,142 active list voters. And they broke it down that Democrats has 458,940 and the Republicans 335,180. Those are the two big parties, and of course there are independent American, libertarian, and then the big pond to fish for voters is the nonpartisan column. There are 392,670 registered voters who mark their registration as nonpartisan, meaning they're not registered to any party, but they still vote, during the election. Hopefully, many of them actually vote. So that is where the the big mine is for voters, to mine for voters, the 392,670. And that's where the campaign will be focusing on. In the Clark County Democrats and Republicans, there appears to be like a margin of more than 100,000, a little over 100,000. But in the statewide totals, Democrats are 592,903 and Republicans as 542,761. The difference goes down to just 50,142. And the nonpartisan voters totals 530,893, especially with the younger voters. I'm going to show you how the younger voters look like. For those who had registered to vote, who are still under 18, but they are going to turn 18 on election day, they can already register. So it appears that on the Democrats, they have 529 new registrants, and Republicans only had 249. You see the gap there.
Yes.
More young people are registering for the Democratic Party. If we go to the next age level, age 18 to 24, there are 60,966 new Democrats, active Democrats, and only 30,510 active Republicans. And that is why, that age bracket, the younger people, tends to register more as Democrats rather than Republicans. And then it goes, as the age level goes higher, especially at age 45 and 54, the Democrats and Republicans in that age bracket almost are like 50-50. So perhaps the Democratic candidates should really be directing their messaging to the younger people if they want to get some more of those, because even in the nonpartisan, in the age bracket 18 to 24, there are 92,430 of them that are out there. And but again, it could go both ways where they will vote. But considering that the Democrats are more younger registrants, it is likely that even in the non-partisan, many of them are also likely to vote for Democrats. We are going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we will be joined by Nevada Lieutenant Governor Lisa Cano Burkhead here at the polls. So stick with us.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
Thank you for staying with us. Here today on our show is incumbent Nevada Lieutenant Governor Lisa Cano Burkhead. Lieutenant Governor, thank you for taking the time to speak with us today in spite of your very hectic schedule in this last few weeks before the election.
Thank you so much for having me.
Our pleasure. First question is, just for the sake of our Filipino audience, is the Lieutenant Governor elected separately in Nevada?
Yes. I was appointed in December of last year and by our governor, by Governor Sisolak, and but in the role of Lieutenant Governor, we are on the same Democratic ticket, but we do have independent offices.
Right. So it's just that in the Philippines, we call it the vice governor.
Yes.
Okay? So just for the sake of our Filipino-American audience and our new immigrants and new citizens in the United States.
Sure.
How important is the role of the Lieutenant Governor to the state, especially if you both belong to the same party?
It's incredibly important. In my office as Lieutenant Governor, and as I mentioned, I was appointed last December, so I've been in this role for almost a year. I am the chair on the Commission of Tourism, the chair of Outdoor Recreation. I'm the vice chair of Transportation. I sit on GOED with the governor. I am the president of the Senate during the legislative session. And I am really taking a role in helping on education because that is my background. And I have said that education is it's the foundational piece of everything else that we do. And so it's extremely important. And I am partners with the governor. And so we're going to work, we're going to continue to work on behalf of all Nevadan families as we go into the next legislative session. And I'm really excited to have a full term.
It's good to hear. And it's a midterm election is usually tough for everyone. Where does the campaign stand right now? Is it likely or unlikely we can hold on to the governor's mansion for the Democrats?
It's very likely. We're working hard every single day to get the vote out and working hard. You'll never find a more dedicated, harder working group of leaders than the leaders that are on the Democratic ticket. So I am very confident that we will all be crossing that finish line in November. And there's so much at stake during this election, and so it's really important that everybody pay attention to who is running for office and that we are voting for people who have the best intentions and they're really working on behalf of all Nevadans. I am a first-generation Latina American, the first ever to be the lieutenant governor for our state. My mommy and papi moved here in 1965 from Argentina with an elementary education in pursuit of the American dream. And so to stand here today as the 36th Lieutenant Governor, the first ever first-generation Latina American, is so much bigger than my role as Lieutenant Governor. It's about an opportunity and a responsibility that I have to pave the path for others who will come after me, to open those doors, because we know that when you can see it, you believe that you can do it. And that's a huge honor, the honor of my life to be able to serve in this capacity. And so I just am really excited, very honored, and my background is education. So I spent 25 years in classrooms, on school campuses, both as a high school teacher, but also as a middle school and a high school principal. And I have always said that everywhere that there are decisions being made, there should be an educator at the table. And so what a tremendous opportunity for me. And I credit our incredible governor for understanding the importance of representation, not just as an educator, but also as a first-generation Latina American.
It's good to know, because it always excites me to hear that whenever an educator runs for a public office and then many of them get elected. We have so many in the state legislature right now and in the state senate. So that's wonderful to hear. The next question is, if the Democrats maintain our control of the state assembly and the state senate, but lose the governor's office to a Republican, what will be the bad or consequential effect to Nevadans in that kind of scenario?
Sure. Well, that's not going to happen, because we're working really hard to make sure that we elect our governor and that up and down the ticket on the Democratic ticket that we are all getting across that finish line. It's really important that we have a group of leaders that are cohesive, that are working together, that have the ability to move that work forward. And so we have that currently with our Democratic ticket, up and down the ticket. To have a group of individuals, of leaders who really are there with the best of intentions to leave it better than we have found it, and really respect one another and work collaboratively together, that is what leadership is all about, and that is what you currently have with the Democratic ticket. So we're working, as I said, really hard to make sure that we all make it across that finish line.
That's good to know. And here's another one. What major state programs has been so close to your heart? I know there are many that you are always involved in, but if you can name one, what is that one that you care about most?
I'm extremely passionate about education in our state. As a lifelong educator, someone who spent 25 years in the Clark County School District, I have not only a responsibility but an opportunity to use my platform to uplift our educators and our students and our families, working on behalf of them, working alongside my colleagues to move that work forward. We know in our state, unfortunately, that we have seen a mass exodus of teachers who have left our profession, and we continue to have expectations here for our students, yet we don't have licensed teachers in the classroom. So we have to work collectively together with all the talent in our state to make sure that we are working hard on behalf of our educators and our families and our students in fixing that, in really rebranding what it means to be an educator in our state, working with our higher education, with our universities on programs so that we can get our pipeline to where we need it to be. But I think more importantly is communicating what an honor it is to be an educator and to do that work and to devote your life to that work, removing barriers for students and really seeing that progression and really being a part of their journey. There is no bigger honor than that. And so that is my passion. I believe that that is the fundamental piece of everything else that we do in our state, because when we're talking about economic development, we're really talking about education. When we're talking about our workforce, we're really talking about education. So we have to have leaders at the table who can pull everybody together and work on rowing the boat in the same direction, having really crucial conversations about where we perhaps fall short and what we can do to fix it. There's so much talent in our state, but unfortunately, I think sometimes we work in isolation, in silos. We need to really work together at the same table, having those conversations and really talking about best practices and what we can do together to move our goals forward.
Lieutenant Governor, I was looking at these numbers.
Yeah.
These are the, as of September 22nd, statistics or data from the Secretary of State. I know that in Clark County, we pretty much comfortably outnumbers the Democrats outnumbers the Republicans, but I've always, you know, I know that our campaign managers are looking at the 392,670 registered voters who are nonpartisan, and that is why, you know, a couple of times I bumped into Filipino-Americans say, "Are you a registered voter already?" And I said, "Yeah." "Are you a Republican or a Democrat?" And they said, "I'm nonpartisan." I said, "Either way," I tell them how I feel about what's going on in our country. And
Yes.
so that is, you know, although I'm amazed how in the age brackets, we just have so many young people between the age of 18 to 44 that are registering as Democrats. And I think the numbers are just telling what the country is going on, what the country is going through right now when it comes to fundamental rights
Yes.
and many issues that really is very essential to our democracy and our, you know, our existence as the America that we know. You know?
And that's why, exactly to your point, we need to make sure that we get the vote out, right? That we need to make sure that we are paying attention to what's happening, not only in our country, but also in our state around women's rights and the right for a woman and her health care, and making sure that we are educated about who is running and where they stand on issues that impact our families. Particularly, you know, we have on the Republican side many people who are running with very extreme views, who are denying election. And so we cannot have election deniers making decisions for our state. We cannot have people who do not have thoughtful responses and use critical thinking skills. As an educator, someone who's dedicated their life to teaching kids critical thinking skills. We cannot have leaders who are not using critical thinking skills making decisions on behalf of our state and our families and our educators and our kids and our working families. We need to have thoughtful people at the table where these decisions are being made. And so I am very hopeful that we are going to get across that finish line, because I do believe that people are paying attention, and I do believe that people will exercise their privilege to vote, and to vote for people who are going to be thoughtful in that decision-making process.
That's right. Lieutenant Governor, I'm actually very honored that, you know, for someone like you, who you were a teacher, a school administrator, and you rose to the occasion, you know, when you were needed by our state, our governor. And again, thank you so much for this opportunity you gave us to be in our show. Good luck. God bless on your race to the finish line on this election. And folks, that's Lieutenant Governor Lisa Cano Burkhead. Again, thank you so much for this opportunity you gave us to be on our show. Good luck. God bless on your race to the finish line on this election. So folks, Lisa Cano Burkhead, Lieutenant Governor in the ballot. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Time flies when you're having a grand time. Catch us again next week as we continue our discussion on the midterm elections. Uncle Sam, what's in store for our viewers on our next episode?
We will continue our analysis and keep watch on the several congressional races, including the Senate and to the state legislature. So for you, just a reminder, don't forget to vote. Early voting, October 22nd.
There you go, friends and kababayans. And until then, good day, everyone. I'm Esmeralda Padilla-Gould.
Good day, and thanks for watching.
The views and opinions expressed in the media or comments on this program are those of the speakers or authors and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by FilAmTV Network. Due to the social nature of FilAmTV Network, videos may contain content copyrighted by another entity or person. FilAmTV Network claims no copyright to said content.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.